My father never used to see me.
Oh,
Are you willing to work for 12 hours straight for a
okay.
person who was working 16 hours for 1500 rupees, 8 months or 10 months without a day off?
Without that.
I don't believe on the word cuisine. It's tomato from India.
Okay. So you might have traveled and
Yeah,
tasted different kinds of food
yeah.
across India. Which one you like, sir?
I would say that.
How is the actual reality in the kitchens? You see, there's a famous show, you might have heard it, The Bear. I started the first episode. I'm literally feeling stressful just watching it.
My juniors, his name is Avinash, he told me, Chef, just watch it, you'll like it. And then I switched on to it, and I think I binge watched it in one night. I finished the
Is it
whole first.
relatable to you, sir?
Very, very, very relatable. Some of the major restaurants which has Michelin stars and World 50 Best ratings and things like that, these are places which have good quality street food.
Good quality street. All right, everyone, welcome back to TGD, the Graduate Dropout Show. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Johnson. I myself am a very huge foodie. I love trying new cuisines. I love to go to the restaurants, trying out the new dishes, especially chef special. I'm a person who goes to restaurants and always think about chef special. What's so special about that particular dish in every restaurant. And I want to have a brief conversation and I want to have a chat about food. And also there's what is much better than a food lover, a person who has better culinary skills and loves the food and made as a passion. Today we have Mr. Johnson with us. Please introduce yourself, sir. I am very bad at introducing people, and your accomplishments, I guess it's going to take a half an hour if I start introducing you.
Or let me not take half an hour. Let me just take
Okay.
at the most 5 minutes.
Okay.
But let me go on to say that I was born in Chennai,
Okay.
but now my home is Bangalore. Yeah, so
Everyone.
that's the way how I want to start off with. Yeah, as a kid, as a normal kid, when you hit 10th standard, parents start asking you the question, "What do you want to be?"
Yes.
At that particular time, I said I want to be like my uncle because my uncle was traveling all around the world,
Okay.
right? And he used to send pictures from Milan, pictures from Rome, or even Miami and places like that. I used to get these postcards which used to show him at the background of some famous place.
Place. Okay.
And I wanted to visit those places. I asked him, "What are you doing, uncle?" And he said, "I'm a chef. I cook. I cook on a cruise liner." And I said, like, okay, I also want to be like him. I
Okay.
want to go travel around the world. It's not for cooking. It's
It's
not
not
for
for
cooking.
cooking.
I just said I want to go travel around the world. And that led me to join IHM, Indian Institute of Hotel Management in Chennai. I finished that. The first job was an apprentice in a butchery space in Taj Coromandel in Chennai.
Okay.
You know,
Wonderful.
you are actually peeling chicken every day. You smell of chicken the whole day as well, and
Okay.
that's exactly what I was doing during Taj Coromandel days, and it was almost 3 years. And then the interview happens. Those days, this was way back in 2000,
Hmm.
2001. Interviews were happening only in Nariman Point in Mumbai, and some were happening in Bangalore as well at that point of time. So my first train ride was going for an interview, and
Interview.
I remember going on that particular train, get down at Dadar, and from Dadar I have to go to Victoria Terminus. And in Mumbai, you are carried into the train and you are brought out of the train as well.
Yes.
That was my first experience in Mumbai. And then I go for this interview. I crack this interview. Just for the mere fact they asked me, "What do you want to be?" I said, "I want to travel around the world." And they said, "No place to be. You can come join us." And I did not ask them about my salary too at that point of time.
You
I
just
just
wanted
said,
to
"Yeah,
travel the
just
world.
wanted to travel the world." And I went there. I started working for Carnival Cruise Lines.
Hmm.
This was way back in 2001, 2001, 2002, 2003, and 4. I was working there. And then in 2004, I went to work in the East Coast United States restaurants, basically Philadelphia, New York, Charleston, Pittsburgh, places like that. I was working all the while, undocumented, if I may say, yeah,
Oh,
at that particular point of time, just working in various cuisines, working to understand what is Creole cuisine, working to understand what is Mexican, working to understand what is Japanese, and things like that. I was just working there. In 2009, I felt that I have to come back to India, and that's when I realized that I have to come back to India,
okay.
because my sister was getting married, and my sister had to go to Allentown, like
Okay.
to go out of go to United States. So my sister went on to United States. I have the responsibility to take care of my parents because I'm being the eldest one. I came back to India and
Hmm.
started working for five-star hotels. And I was working for five-star hotels. Five-star hotels, it's a little bit of a tedious job where you have to cater to an hierarchy as well,
Okay.
where my creativity was not really coming out there. So I found few people who are dreaming on the same lines with me, wanted to open a restaurant in KL, in Kuala Lumpur, in
In
Malaysia.
Malaysia.
And that's when the whole episode of Nadodi happened.
Okay.
Nadodi is a restaurant which I co-founded along, and gave the name as well. And I was in this restaurant for 4 years, and I got featured in the Michelin guide. And then I felt, why am I doing this in a country which is not mine? I want to come back to India.
So,
And
may I interrupt you? May I know the word meaning Nadudi?
Nadodi means nomads.
Okay.
Nadodi is a common word between Tamil and even Malayalam and even northern part of Sri Lanka as well. So we
Okay.
wanted to do a particular cuisine which was completely around similar yet unique.
Similar yet unique.
Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to do. And I was there for 4 years and I got featured on the guide. I was getting all famous over there. Then I felt, why am I doing this in a country which is not mine? Let me go back to India and start something. And that's when I reached out to few people who can dream along with me. And one such person was my co-founder here,
Okay.
whose name is Kaushik, who's from Bangalore. He came to KL, he convinced me, and he said Bangalore's got a market for this, Johnson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and let's come to Bangalore. I made a couple of visits to Bangalore and understood Bangalore's dimension
Yes.
in terms of food, in terms of people acceptance for the food as well, for almost 6 months. And then March 1st, 2019,
Hmm.
I drove my small little car with few other people who are going to dream along with me,
Hmm.
came to Bangalore, and the rest is history.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a long introduction, sir.
I took more
Uh,
than 5 minutes, is it?
yes, yes, yes. It will take nearly 20 minutes for me at least.
Okay.
So how about we dissect your
Okay.
life journey,
Okay.
starting with your early childhood. So, sir, I wanna ask this. I always have this. The chefs which goes on to the higher level. I have this like not only me. Even when I was working on this episode, even my team was like, they wanted to ask one question. It's like, are you guys naturally gifted with the the skills you need to have, or you develop over the time?
I would fall under the second one, which you said,
Okay.
develop over the time.
Okay.
I was never a guy who cooked in a kitchen. I'm one of those people who would wait for my father to do his biryani on a
Okay.
Sunday and wait with a plate.
Yeah.
So I was one of those guys who loved to eat. I love tasty food, but I love to eat. I was not finicky,
Hmm.
but I need an egg every meal.
Egg. Okay.
An egg every meal. So that's basically my domain for food. And
Okay.
I don't enter the kitchen unless for helping my mom to do the dishes here and there.
Okay.
And that's the only thing which I was doing. But I think after I ventured into being a chef,
Hmm.
it taught me.
It taught you
It
on the
taught
way.
me over a period of time. It taught me reinvent myself time and again as well. And over a period of time, I think I got better at it. I
Okay.
think it took time. There are people who are talented, who are naturalists as well,
Hmm.
who come with that hand of umami. That's what
Yes.
I
Yes. Yes.
call. They have taste in their hands. They say, I am not one of them. I think I
You
developed it
build
over
it
a
on the
period
way.
of
Okay.
time. Yeah, yeah.
And I only can make eggs, sir. Definitely. And I want to ask this: when you go home, even now, do you cook at home or?
Oh yes, I have two teenagers
Okay.
who always want me to cook.
Okay. They
You know,
have like
so
special requests.
yes, Tuesdays are taco Tuesdays.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, Tuesdays are taco Tuesdays. Unfortunately, each class has 30 or 35 students. I have to cook for everyone.
Oh, man,
So it's
that's
like a big little, potluck for them as well. They get these tacos inside, and they get those fillings as well as those sauces and things like that. So
okay.
it's like a party every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
But I have to do it for two kids.
Okay.
So I still cook. I still cook. My son loves cooking as well.
That's amazing.
So he helps me here and there. My daughter eats, so my son cooks. He helps me. But yeah, I love cooking. I love cooking. I do it day in and day out. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, sir, were you encouraged as a child to be creative or to take something? You see, in a country like India, we're not much encouraged to go on this hotel management side, or there wasn't much encouragement. You become a chef. If you say like I want to become a chef, none of the parents are gonna encourage you. Most of the cases.
Yeah. But
So, were you encouraged from your parents, from your family?
no, see, I come from a family which was just making ends meet.
Okay.
Okay. From in our family, my uncle was seen as a guy who had made it all.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. So for me, it was different. But
Okay.
I understand your question as well. But I think in the last 15 years, it's changed a lot. The chef industry or the hotel industry here in India has changed a lot. A lot of people who have money and who have
Yes. Yes.
who have calibers are coming inside the industry as well. But yeah, the amount of catering colleges have doubled up, tripled up, I would say. It's not like before. When I used to study, there were only three big colleges in Chennai
Okay.
for who was giving you tuitions on hotel management or cooking itself. But now you have some more than 30 or more than 40, maybe more. I don't know the numbers yet, but maybe more as well. There are some really good colleges in Karnataka as well.
Yes, sir.
So there are more people these days. I would say, and I think I've heard stories, but I can't resonate with that. I did not have that particular challenge because I come from a family which was okay with this.
Okay.
But I have heard stories. I won't deny I've not heard stories. I've heard stories. Some of them say, I wanted you to be an engineer. I wanted you to be. I have one great example in my little space. I had one other person who worked for a big software company. In middle of the job, he said, I can't do this. I want to be a chef.
Okay.
And he stopped. He went. He worked in some restaurants like dabas,
Okay.
and then he went and did a formal education, and he's now working for me.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
he worked for another big software company here in Bangalore.
Oh.
Yeah, and now he says it's passionate chef. I went and told my parents that I want to do this, and they accepted it. And they said his brother was an IIM pass out as well.
Okay.
And they said like, if you want to do this, go ahead, do it. So people are there. Parents are much more accepting these days, I would say.
Okay.
And I think times are changing.
That's wonderful, sir.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing. Coincidentally, my project in my graduation, final year project, was on hospitality industry.
Okay.
So most of all the big hotels in Bangalore, I went to each, and I happened to speak with few of the chefs, head chefs.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't remember the names.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is very intriguing when this come up, and I'm like, I have to do this. I have to have a conversation, which I missed at then. I want to have now. So sir, I want to ask, how was your education? Did your education actually played any role in your this career?
My education played any role in the career? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The very first interview itself was opening a spice box and
Okay.
asking me to identify what a fenugreek is, what a cumin is.
Okay.
That was the interview itself. And of course, I just did a 1.5 year craft course. I just did 1.5 year craft course, but that sowed the seeds, I would say. And then when I went on to train at Taj Coromandel, all those places, I had another Bangalorean chef. It's something which is coming back to me. His
Okay.
name was Kiran. He used to ask me questions like, why a tomato is red?
Oh God.
Yeah,
Okay.
or he used to ask me questions like, "Why do you think potatoes turn black?" And at that point of time, uh, we did not have smartphones or anything. All I had was internet centers, which was
Okay.
30 rupees for an hour or something
Yes,
like
yes,
that.
sir.
I used to take the break, take a small little paper, run down to the internet center, write down why a tomato is red because of lycopene
Hmm.
and things like that. I used to come back and give him the answer at 5:30 before other people as well, you
Okay,
know.
okay.
So that kind of elevated my stature among the people who work with me as well. And
Hmm.
also I was constantly learning. The fact that I'm talking about lycopene and that, it resonated with me, it stayed with me for almost 25 years.
25. It's
And that's the
amazing.
learning. So as I said, the period just
So
goes
you're
on
a
and on.
self-learner by yourself.
Yeah, self learner at certain point of time. I would say in all fields, you have to reinvent yourself again and
Exactly.
again.
Yeah.
I think that there was one point of time in 2009 when I came back, I was doing things which I learned, which I saw in other countries, but I had few ingredients, which is called molecular gastronomy, which
Hmm.
was not tapped, which was not shown.
Okay.
So at that time, YouTube was blowing up as well. So you go there, you Google in, you key in these words, molecular gastronomy, you self learn. You
Okay.
start learning what you want to do. You take notes and you try to get these ingredients from this part of the world, bring it over here, and try to learn things.
By
Try
yourself.
try to learn things. Try to experiment day in and day out. And
Hmm.
then when you're doing this, you also have to have few people to help you as well. At
Hmm.
that time, you are able to connect to people from different parts of the world, and
Hmm.
you're able to connect. Facebook was Orkut was there, then Facebook was there, and then now it's Instagram, and then there's Reddit as well. So you're
Okay.
able to connect with the world and constantly evolve and constantly educate yourself as well. Yeah. So
So you were always keen to learn, and you were encouraged well from your family. I'm summarizing your early
yes,
childhood.
yes, yes,
And your first passion was to travel and
yes,
not cooking.
yes,
You
not
just
cook.
wanted to experience new things.
Yes,
That's
yes,
amazing,
yes,
sir.
yes.
So you did your formal education till 10,
No, 12th, 12th.
12th. Okay.
Because this is another funny story actually.
Okay.
After 10th, I okay, for some good reason or bad reason, I did not study UKG.
Okay.
I got some double promotion.
Same,
And
sir.
I
I
was
missed the LKG.
so they put me directly on first standard. Okay.
Okay.
So I studied. When I got to 10th standard, I was only 14 years of age or something like
Oh,
that.
damn. Yeah.
So when I finished the 10th standard, when I went to the culinary college, they said 10th standard is enough, but they said you are too young to come and join.
Oh,
So they said, go and finish your 11th and 12th. So I come back. At that time, everybody wants to join engineering. So I
yes.
said, I'll take physics, chemistry, maths, and computer science. That was my group. And I go on to it. And the only thing which I aced was English and French.
English and
Nothing,
French.
nothing else. My physics was low. My computer science was good at that time, but that's basically was the
Basic level.
education
Okay.
for till 12th standard. And then I go back to the same college. I do the same interview. This time my age is okay. They take me for that 1.5 years craft course. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful, sir, knowing about your early childhood and early education and everything. After the education, let's get a little bit deep into your journey. After that, you started the culinary courses. You started working at Taj.
Yeah.
Can you start from the third, sir? How was the experience
Oh,
there?
Taj. My father never used to see me.
Oh,
I could summarize like that.
was
My
the
father is a cop, all right?
okay.
I used to start my work at 7 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and I used to finish at 11:30, 12 in the night.
Oh, that's
Yeah. And at that time, there are no public transports which operates. The last bus from DMS is the place to
hmm.
come to St. Thomas Mount was at 11:40.
Okay.
It was a bus. If you miss that bus, you're not going to get any other bus. The best thing what you can do is put your hand out and say, I want a lift. Lift
Okay.
is the word which we used those days. So I used to get into lorries or something like that, get onto a lorry, and the lorry would stop at St. Thomas Mount, get down, pay 5 rupees or 6 rupees, get down from that. As soon as you get down, you have to take 5 or 6 stones, put it in your pocket because you have stray dogs. Put it
Oh,
in your pocket at 12 o'clock and then walk all the way to your house. And my father, in this whole point of time, he never saw me. My mother
Okay.
will be awake. She will have something like an iodex or an amartanjan with a woolen blanket where she would put it inside hot water and wrap it around my leg because I'm standing for the whole day.
Whole day.
Yeah, you stand for the whole day.
Is
As a
it
chef, you
that
stand for the whole day.
is it that harsh at the beginning of your career?
It is even now, you have to stand for the whole day.
Okay.
Even now, standing for the whole day is the basic requirement.
Okay.
Is the basic requirement. And then, of course, yes, you have lunch break, you have tea break, you have all those things, but you start at 7, 7:30, and then you would finish somewhere around 11, 11:30.
Okay.
That was the time every day, 16 hours or 17 hours. And my father never used to see me, and he used to come during my break time, during my lunch time, and he used to get a call that my father is there outside. So I go see my father there, and then my father sees me and he waves goodbye to me. So that's how I used to see my father itself.
How long did this last?
This was for 3 years.
3 years. That's
This
a
was for
long
3 years. Yeah. So the salary structures at that time was another funny episode as well.
Please share,
Yeah.
sir, please.
The first salary was 1,000 rupees or
Okay.
750 rupees. I might say it used to come in Bank of Baroda.
Okay.
And second year the salary was 1,000 rupees. Third year the salary was 1,000. It was not salary to say, it was called stipend.
Stipend, yes.
Yeah, so third year it was 1,250, and then there's an immediate jump for me to go from there to go from there to the cruises, so
Yeah.
so a dollar
So
was
how did the
40.
transition happen, sir?
Yeah.
From working in Taj, Chennai to cruises.
Yeah, so I had this great chef. His name was Fabian Ravi. He was the first one. He actually takes care of, not now, but he was taking care of the new terminal as well as a big man. So Chef Fabian Ravi actually called me to the room cabin and he said, Johnson, when are you going to go to the cruises?
Okay.
That was the first question he asked me. When are you going to go to the cruises? Because he had another big restaurant in Taj where he wanted me to work for him. And I said, Chef, another year or so, Chef. That's what I said. And he said, okay, Johnson, I'll put you there. You can work in the other specialty restaurant. It was called La Patio, which is a French fine dining restaurant. So I worked with him over there. And at that point of time, I started learning terminologies, started learning kitchen brigade, started learning who is responsible to do which part of the section, and started knowing a little bit more about fine dining.
Fine dining, yes.
Yeah, fine dining. So I was on that particular period, and then those days as a chef, we did not have smartphones or things like that, but you carry a small little Yashica camera or something like that. You take pictures of the food, and then you put a fold-in album.
Album, yes, yes.
Yeah, you put a fold-in album and you carry that album to the interview.
Okay.
So when you go on an interview and you carry that particular album into an interview, you give that album to them and say, these are the dishes which I created. There should be few of your pictures as well, because it
okay.
shouldn't be like
It's just the food.
just the food.
Okay.
It should be like you doing something
Yes,
and
yes.
things like that. So they will people who are questioning you will ask questions pertaining to those what they see there.
Okay.
And they would build up questions as well. Kitchen terminology questions. They would ask questions like that. Once they ask those questions, you give them answers. They would ask you, are you willing to work for 12 hours straight? For a person who was working 16 hours for 1,500 rupees, when you say 12 hours, it's big.
That's
But
big.
they would say no off, because
Okay.
you would work for 8 months or 10 months without a day off.
Without a day off. Okay.
Without a day off. Day in and day out.
Okay.
You would work for that $1,000 every month. So that's basically what I was
So
doing at that point
was
of time.
that mentally challenging for you, or did you love it?
I'll tell you what changes the whole complexity. I don't know. The moment you get that $1,000 and you know that you can buy a pair of Nike or a Levi's jean, it changes everything.
Changes everything.
It changes everything. It changes everything. I think money is the best motivator at any point of time.
Exactly, sir. Money is everything.
Yeah. So at that time, yes.
So when you were working on cruises, what cuisines did you used to cook mostly?
So basically, each space revolves around different cuisines. So if the cruise is actually leaving from Caribbean or Miami and moves around Caribbean and Mexico, they will have influences of that particular region. If the cruise is in Alaska and moves around that, it influences to that particular cuisine as well. You have standard operating procedures or recipe books which you have to diligently follow.
Okay, okay.
But the techniques and the way of doing
Your own
is the
style.
same. It's the same.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's the same. Okay.
it's the same. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought, you have a fixed cuisine throughout the cruise.
No, no. Every week the menu changes.
It's amazing.
Like, I mean to say, every day there's a menu.
Okay.
Every day, like day one, there is one menu. Day two, there is another menu. Day three, there's another menu. For 7 days, there is one menu for a 7 day cruises.
7 day cruises.
And
Okay.
then you come back and do the same thing,
All
but
right.
seven different things. Yeah. So that's how it nurtures you as well, and that's how you gain stamina and strength as well,
Okay.
and your speed comes in as well, and you don't get scared of seeing people, because these are ships which cater to 2,000 to 3,000 people, and you're
Oh,
cooking
damn.
for 2,000 people or 3,000 people, different sections though. There will
Okay.
be like almost 150 people cooking for
2000,
cooking for 2,500 people. So you have different sections. You have sections like soups, sauces, and places like that, where you go around and learn things as well. But again, the fear of seeing a crowd is not there. You're not
Okay.
you don't see crowd and say, I can't cook.
Okay. There's no
Yeah,
performance pressure.
yeah. There's no performance pressure. You would cook every day, day in and day out. You have to cook. You have
Okay.
to cook. You can't get sick as well. You have to go in day in and day out. You can't. Of course, there is infirmary, there is clinics and places like that, but hardly you don't use them. Yeah, you don't use them. Yeah, so
Okay. Okay.
so that is cruises. It was tough.
Hmm.
I can assure you it was tough, but the learning and what it seasons you over a period of time,
There's always a takeaway.
yeah, there's a take in it. Yeah, exactly. There's a take in it. Yeah.
So, sir, after the cruises, you went to KL.
Yeah, after the cruises, I used to work for five-star hotels here.
Okay. In India.
Yeah, in India. Again, coming back to India. To be honest, in between that, I even wanted to see the corporate world. I actually took a 8 month stint of working for Sutherland.
Why, sir? Why
I
did you
just
want
wanted
to
to know.
go
I
to
just want to know
corporate?
what exactly the corporate world was doing. Because
Okay.
they had 5 day work week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they used to get stress balls and iPod Nanos, the small
Yes,
ones,
yes, yes.
as incentives and things like that. And I had a command over the language, so I thought I would fit in there and see what exactly I could do there. But after 6 months, I
Okay.
said, I don't want to do this for my life.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
I
all looks
was.
fancy from the out,
Yeah, it all
but
looks
definitely you don't
fancy.
want to work there.
It did give me that point of time where so the passion of me not cooking anymore.
Yes, yes.
It said like, I have to get back to cooking. I want to go back to learn cooking. That was more enticing for me, and I went back to
Back to
hotels.
hotels.
So I joined a five-star hotel at a pretty decent management cadre, I would say.
Yeah, okay.
And then slowly I participated in some competitions and things like that, where it just blew up, and I got my promotions as well, and it kept on going from there. But when you work for five-star hotels, you really can't create. Yes, no offense to the people who are there. They
Okay.
can create, but at some point of time, you have to go through a hierarchy,
Okay.
and you create something. Yes, it would be great, but you resonate with that more than the person who's judging you on that particular
You
food.
don't have much creative freedom over there?
Yeah, you have to follow SOPs, standard operating procedures.
Okay.
You have to follow that, and you have to cater to. I won't say it's wrong. It's something which works for the masses.
Yes, yes.
And I think I was not fitting into that particular cadre. I felt that I had to come out of my shell and start creating and start executing, start conceptualizing things, where I create a space where there is freedom of expression.
Then you have shifted to KL.
Yeah, then I moved to KL. So there was one small day where I had to go for a morning meeting. I call up my chef, which again, not the greatest things to do actually. On the day, I just said, chef, this is not working out for me, and I need to leave, and I need to leave next week, because this option would not come.
Okay.
This opportunity would not come back again, because I had to do that in 7 days.
In 7 days.
In 7 days, and I did not want to leave that opportunity, and I said, I'll go grab it, chef. I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for putting you into this, but I think I need to do this leap of faith.
Okay.
and I went to KL. I went to KL, and the whole Nadodi episode happened, and yeah, it just went on. It just went on. Yeah,
So, which one would you say the best decision you have taken in your life?
best.
Looking at your uncle and following this passion, or jumping the leap of faith to KL?
I think the best decision for me is coming to Bangalore.
Coming to Bangalore,
Yeah, yeah, the best decision for me is coming to
I
Bangalore.
can resonate with that.
Yeah, the best decision for me is coming to Bangalore. Why is because of the mere fact um, I was flying high in KL.
Mhm.
Michelin was not there at KL. I got featured in Michelin Guide and things like that. Michelin was not yet there in KL.
Okay.
Uh, so people used to ask me, "What do you think when Michelin will come to KL?"
Mhm.
Yeah, there used to be questions flying out in media and things like that, but I felt no, this is not my country.
Okay.
I can't do this anymore. Even though I went last month to do a small festival there as well, coming
Mhm.
back,
Yes,
going
yes,
there,
sir.
and I did a small little kita food festival there, and yeah, even though that was there, I just felt that I had to go back to India, and that decision when I am flying high already, and to erase everything which I have already built and start from zero again
Again,
and build it again to this particular point where I'm able to talk about my experience. I think that is even more a bigger decision
decision.
than any other thing in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can I ask, what is? Can you explain what is Michelin to people who don't understand
No,
exactly?
that's it's a rating system by a tire company.
Tire company. Yes.
By a tire company. We don't want to get deeply into it. There is
Yes, sir.
enough things out there to actually chat GPT.
Yes,
It'll
sir.
give you the full little history of when did it come, how did it come, and it's basically a rating system
Do we
of
have any in India?
no, India unfortunately doesn't have any Michelin.
Okay.
India doesn't have any Michelin. Our territory doesn't fall under Michelin. The recent one I would say was Malaysia who got
Mm-hmm.
the Michelin guide. Before that there was Bangkok which got the Michelin guide. Thailand got the Michelin guide.
Okay.
But yeah, Dubai of course has because they have to get the tourism up and running.
Yes,
But
yes.
India doesn't have a Michelin guide yet. India
That's
doesn't have.
maybe someday.
Maybe someday. It's a sign of motivation for certain people, certain chefs, I would say. When you take a look at certain episodes on TV and things like that,
Yes,
when you
yes.
see Chef's Table or when you see the chef itself, the movie The
Yes,
Chef
yes.
or Bear or things like that,
The bear, yes, sir.
yeah, things like that. So you tend to resonate with that, and you tend to be that,
Yes.
like so. It's a sign of motivation, I would say. But for some chefs, they don't want that also because it changes the whole dynamics of business after
Mm-hmm.
Michelin comes in. So it's a two-edged sword, I would say. So
All right, sir. Can you walk us through the Michelin? Why did a car tires company, especially a tires manufacturing company, went into this one? Especially culinary, and they started rating restaurants. Why did this happen? I want to know the story actually.
I think it's basically for people to move around and find spaces where they can
Okay.
dine and have an experience
Okay.
over a period of time. So when you have a rating system where you can dine and have an experience,
Hmm.
of course, how does car go? Those days it was
Tires.
cars by
Driving.
driving,
Yes. Yes.
tires, and that's why they came into the picture. But there is a bigger description of that as well. But what they do over a period of time is they have raised the bar.
Yes.
Like
Yes. Exactly.
it's not like any other rating system, I would say. It's little bit more you know secretive,
Yes. Yes.
and you would know a person if it's a single diner who is coming in to dine at your space. I know this one particular gentleman who was a Michelin inspector who
Hmm.
had 3 Michelin stars under his shorts.
Okay.
Like he was wearing a shorts, but then under his tie he had those 3 Michelin stars.
Three
So that's
Michelin
like the
stars.
secretive thing which they have
Okay.
it. Yeah, so that was them. So none of them tell that they are
They just randomly
inspectors.
come and
They would
just taste
just
the food.
randomly come. They would make a reservation. They have their own codes as well when they make their reservations. They would give that reservation in, and they would judge every single thing, like in terms of how your placement of cutlery is there on the tables,
Hmm.
how a chef actually describes a particular cuisine, or does he resonate to what he is preaching,
Hmm.
his philosophy, the restaurant's philosophy, the timeliness, the taste, the culture interactiveness of the food, what has been created. So there are scopes, there are millions of I won't say
Yes,
millions, there are a lot of
lot of.
a lot of parameters which they have to tick.
Hmm.
And yes, 3 stars is the impeccable one, is the most coveted one. But most of these restaurants start with one, and then they gradually get to two, and then they get to three. And when they get to three, they have to keep that three for a
For longer
sufficient
time.
amount
Yes.
of time. Yeah, so
That's amazing,
so
sir.
those are the things about Michelin star. But yeah, we don't have that, but there are spaces in India who are creating that kind of an awards year.
Hmm.
There's one really good one by Mr. Veer Sangvi. He
Hmm.
created something called culinary culture, where
Hmm.
it's almost similar rating systems here in India. So he does that as well. But again, it's the same way of how food has
How
been judged as well.
judge?
They have a small little forum where they have food hunters, and these are people who are anonymous. We don't know who they are. They would come in, dine, and they have their own parameters as well. And every year, you have
Yeah,
awards being
awards
given as
being
well.
given.
Yeah, awards being given as well. They don't have like 2 star, 3 stars. They have 5 stars and five, four,
Seven.
three, two.
There's no seven.
There's no seven. There's
Okay.
five, four, three, two, one. They
Five.
have
Four.
like that. They
That's
have
amazing, sir.
that kind. So that's another thing which is really good. Which, yes, of course, we don't have Michelin here, but we have these bodies who come in and do this on the same way as well. On the same way as well. Yeah. So
Okay. Sir, you have experience cooking in different cuisines.
yeah.
What is that one cuisine other than Indian cuisine which you love to cook?
See, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't believe on the word cuisine.
Okay.
I call myself eclectic.
Okay.
Eclectic is deriving inspirations from all around.
Okay.
I'll ask the simple question. The question is tomato from India?
Okay.
Tomato is not from India. But
That's
the most celebrated dish in the world by foreigners, by people outside of India, is chicken tikka masala
yes, sir.
or butter chicken,
Yes, yes.
which is basically tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes came to India only in the 16th century.
Yes.
Now we cannot take tomato goju out.
Okay.
We cannot take tomatoes out of India.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So where is Indian cuisine 400 years ago without tomato?
No one knows that, sir.
No one knows.
So you don't believe in the concept of
I don't
cuisine?
believe in a concept of cuisine. Cuisine is ever evolving,
Hmm.
and it just gets better and better. Even for that matter, uh, ananas or pineapple
Yes,
is not
yes.
from here. Potatoes are not from here.
Damn.
Yeah, potatoes were considered to be royalty, and that's why you find where East India Company was in Calcutta,
Huh.
potatoes in biryani.
Okay, now it makes sense
Yeah,
why
so
Bengal biryani has
as
potatoes in it.
potatoes, yeah. So things like that. So I asked that particular question as well. You know, why there's no cuisine at all? You know, like there's no word called cuisine. It's just that it's way of expressing things.
Express,
But
yes.
if you ask me which particular cuisine I would like to cook, I would say what I am born and brought up with. I would have any single day I would love to cook biryani.
Biryani.
Yeah, even till this day, Sundays are biryani days in my restaurant.
Wow,
So
that's
I
amazing.
cook for my guys. For on Sundays, it's a biryani day. So every Sunday is like a biryani day. And I was talking to you about the other person who, for the very first time, he cooked a biryani, and his biryani was not equally, even better than mine.
Even better
The
than mine.
person who I talked about in before,
Yes, sir, yeah.
the person who was an engineer and who came back being a chef, he cooked a biryani. So I was like, wow, it doesn't take people to be in this
Yes,
industry
sir.
for so long to cook. There are people who are natural as well. So yeah, I love to cook what I am grown up with.
Yes,
So yeah, but for my kids, I cook anything and everything with cheese
Which
because
is
they love cheese. So
okay, okay.
yeah,
So if you have to pick for the rest of your life
yeah.
to eat one food, what
Yeah.
would it be?
Rest of my life to eat one food, I would say Tair Sadam.
Sorry, sir.
Curd rice.
Curd rice. Okay,
Curd
okay.
rice. I would say Thai sadam or curd rice. Curd rice, not for the fact it's so humble yet tasty,
Okay.
yet for the mere fact it's good for your gut as well. And there are other combinations which works really well. For the first time in my QTK or quantity training kitchen, they served me Thai sadam with chana masala on the side. Curd rice and
Okay.
chana masala on the side.
Okay.
It tasted so magical. I am remembering it even after 28 years.
Wow.
It tasted so magical. So for me, curd rice and even saltfish or karwada they call it with Thai sadam is great. A pickle could do the job as well with curd rice. So curd rice for me is very versatile, and I
Okay.
like curd rice in so many ways. Yes, I love biryani, but if you ask me what I can survive all my life by eating one, I would say curd rice.
It's really surprising for a guy who can cook, anything in the world, but you pick curd rice for the, comfort food, or, what you gonna eat for the rest of your life.
No, I'm understanding that question as well again
Yes.
because I'm remembering that particular chana masala and curd rice
Yeah, that must
after
be.
29 years.
Yes.
And even for that matter, I went to a school called St. Patrick's in Chennai, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm a guy, everybody who's around me are people who will bring in curd rice day in and day out,
Mm-hmm.
day in and day out. There'll be something potato fried with that. Someone will bring some chicken with that as well, like
Yes,
chicken
yes.
65 with that as well. So yeah, that's why I picked that. That's why I picked that. Resonated with me as well. It's simple, yet nutritious, yet something which cannot be taken out. Yeah,
Okay, that's wonderful.
yeah.
Right, sir. Thoda, we will increase the intensity of the
Yes, yes,
conversation.
yes. By all means.
All right. I have this one serious discussion I want to have with you, sir.
Yeah.
What are your views on veganism? Vegan food.
The answer was already there with the
Okay.
previous question itself.
Okay.
When I said curd rice,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, I think human being has been eating or drinking milk and milk products all their life for the last 2000 years.
Okay.
We never had a problem.
Yes, yes.
Only in the last 20 years, you are telling me that I am going to get a problem. I'm creating something which is unsustainable
Yes, sir.
because of drinking or eating milk and milk products.
Yes, yes.
I genuinely accept it. It's
Hmm.
okay. It's okay if you have your own beliefs. But for me, it doesn't resonate.
Yes, it
It
doesn't.
doesn't resonate for me. A mock meat doesn't resonate to me.
Yes, yes.
I would love a vegetable as a vegetable.
Yes, yes.
I don't want a vegetable to taste like meat.
Yes, exactly.
So that's my take on it.
Okay.
And again, if it's milk from me is milk. It's cow's milk or mom's milk, it's milk.
Yeah,
That's milk for me. Milk, it's not almond milk. It's
definitely.
not almond milk. It's not oat milk. For me, those words
Yes.
don't ring a bell. It's something which I don't resonate to with. But I respect your decision of being a vegan. But just that I cannot cook just vegan food.
Yes, yes.
That's it.
You don't like cooking at all.
I don't.
Vegan.
I love to cook with butter, ghee, and all those things which we
Enjoy.
enjoy food with.
Yes.
It's guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Like it's food. It's one life.
I'll tell you one thing, sir. I am a lactose intolerant. Okay, I have been. I gone nearly 1.5 year cutting off dairy products.
Okay.
After that, I felt like okay, this is. I'm a huge paneer lover.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
cheese too. I love eating pizzas. Obviously, I'm from India. I love ghee and everything.
Yes.
I had to cut everything. After a while, yeah, I was fine.
Yeah.
But then there's some temptation. You're grown up with these foods.
Yes. Yes.
So I've seen it for a while, and I like bhad mein gaya, I'm eating paneer.
Okay.
And the thing is, it didn't show that much of effect than the doctors or the media or everyone portrayed. If you're a lactose intolerant, if you go it, it's gonna be horrible for you.
Mm,
No, it wasn't that much. Of course, I had little bit trouble,
okay.
but yeah, it was. I faced the consequences. That's it.
No, honestly, I'm lactose intolerant. I did not know that,
Wow.
but even I'm lactose intolerant. But I hear a deaf ear. Like
Yeah.
it's not because of that. It's the conscious decisions which
Yes.
which
Yes.
people take to become vegan, which is good, which is great. I don't deny it, which is great. But there are certain things I don't want to do
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's my belief, and everyone's belief is for themselves. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so I don't want to cook with. I want to use honey from
Honey
the
too.
bees.
Yes, sir.
I want to use honey from the bees. It's natural, and I want to use milk. I want to use cheese. I want to use ghee. I want to use. I don't want to use something to taste like meat.
Yes, sir.
I want to harness a vegetable for its potential. A mushroom. I want to use that
Use the
to,
mushroom.
to its full potential and make it tasty.
Yes.
So I don't want any creative freedom or restrictions to how I want to create a food.
Yes, exactly. So, coming to India, we have this lifestyle, Jain lifestyle, and they have this unique way of eating. Okay, they don't eat anything which grows under the ground. Um, do you have any idea about it, sir?
Yes, I do have ideas about it as well. There's a lot of people who ask me, "Can you cater to Jain food, without onion and without garlic?" Again, it restricts my creativity,
It restricts your
and I
creativity.
politely tell them, "I'm sorry, I will not be able to." And this is something which I cannot do. Like it's something again when I want to have that. It's like telling an artist, "I'm not going to give you the color red and color green."
Yes, yes.
And ask him to paint
Paint a
ask him to
canvas.
paint a nature or something like that.
Yes,
So it's pretty hard. It's pretty
it's very
hard.
hard for you.
It's pretty hard for us. So I yes, it's their beliefs, it's their cultural identity as well. We are no one to question that. And again, it's my decision that I don't want to cook, and it's my decision. That's it.
Okay, so there is this new. I don't know if it's a trend or it's been there before. I recently have went to a hotel Marriott and happened to have a unique style of cooking. The chef, I don't know the chef because I didn't ask for them. So their way of cooking is without oil. Okay, they in Hindi they use called bhunna. They do it with water.
Yeah.
And they say it tastes the same and it's much healthier. It's like they claim it, it's much healthier with the
Again,
water.
to every man for his own.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the way how they want to portray it. It's the way I can't vouch for that. I've not tasted it,
Okay.
nor have I thinking of doing something like that.
Okay.
I love to cook with nature's gifts,
Yeah, just
and I like to keep it that way. It could be hazelnut oil, could be peanut oil, could be sesame oil, or even. But then too much of anything is not good as well. So you
yes.
have to know your limitations when you're using. You can't have rogan floating all the way on top. You
Yes,
should you should you should have what a recipe demands for it to for it to be greasy, for it to be so you have to ethically use it in cooking. So
Yes.
too much of anything also is not good, but I
Yes, yes.
understand that. But there are, as I tell you, we are not amateurs here. We are people who have been trained. We are doing this over a period of time, so we know how much of oil to put, how much of oil not to put
Not to
as
put.
well, and what to use, what not to use. It's not somebody who's just cooking just like that,
Just like that.
like, yeah. So knowing about it, I don't deny it. That's a good one. I've heard about that as well.
Yes.
It's something which we could learn and we could impart as well. Of course, yes, oil reducing oil will have really good implications as well. I don't know about the taste. I don't know about the taste. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing. Of course, I could tell the difference. I could tell the difference, but it's not very noticeable unless and until they tell you there's no oil used in it. We use the water to cook this. Then okay, yeah,
No,
I can tell the
there
difference.
are certain natural products which has their own fat as well. Like the lamb will have its own fat, pork will
Yes.
have its own fat, and yeah, things like that. They will all have its own fat, and you can cook with their fat
Yes,
itself.
yes,
So, but for vegetables, I don't know. I
yes,
don't know. For vegetables, I don't know how they can harness a particular vegetable unless or until there are techniques which they have, which they have found a way to. So,
yes, yes.
yeah.